Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaten Path. Remember a few weeks ago when I showed you a bracelet using the Nozue Sonoko Thread? Well, here is another bracelet using the same thread. The bracelet that I taught you a few weeks ago was a tubular, peyote stitch. This is going to be a twisted herringbone bangle. The neat thing about this project is it's going to use 3 colors of a size 8 seed bead. Now, once you understand how to do the twisted herringbone, then you can use 1 color, 6 colors, whatever you want. But for this specific project, I'm going to use 3 colors. And it's going to take about 6 to 8 yards of your Nozue Sonoko thread to do this project. The neat thing about this project is it's going to be a bangle, and it's going to be a bangle because this thread is awesome. It will roll right over your wrist, and I have never seen a twisted herringbone bangle. I've seen the twisted herringbone with all sorts of ends put on them, but never in a bangle style. So this is what we're going to make today. This one is beige, bronze, and then a seafoam mint color. This one is red, white, and blue since we have Memorial Day and the 4th of July coming up. But they're really great because they are a stiffer bangle that you will be able to roll right over your hand and wear just like we did with the tubular peyote stitch. The biggest thing and the biggest, pointer I can give you for this bracelet is you need to have a good tight tension on this bracelet. If you're a very loose stitcher, I probably would not recommend the Nozue Sonoko. If you're very loose, you're probably going to want to use a fire line, and if you use a fire line, you're going to have to put the ends on it, okay? If you, and there's tons of people out there who can show you how to put the ends on it. I'm not going to do that in the video, so please don't email me and ask me to do it because I'm going to be on to something else. But like I said, tight stitcher, you want to be a tight stitcher on this one if you're going to use the Nozue Sonoko, because that's the only way you're going to get a good smooth bangle twisted shape. I'm going to use, today I'm going to use a silver lime milky teal, an opaque sour apple, which is a lime green, and a silver lime milky sapphire, which to me looks more purple rather than blue. And I'm going to start out with 3 yards of the white Nozue Sonoko thread. So go ahead and get your mat set up and ready, and we'll get started. When you have your beads laid out, you'll want to name them color A, B, and C. Now I'm going to start off with 2 A's. And I'm going to drop these down, and I'm going to leave myself about a 6-inch tail. And I'm going to go up through the first A that I added. Go down through the second A. And then on this first row only, we're going to reinforce. So I'm going to go, because if you don't, this is going to happen. Go back up through that first A, and then down through the second A. This is going to keep them together and keep them in the ladder stitch that we need them. If not, they're going to be a hot mess. And it's just because of the nature of this thread, it doesn't allow it to lay like it should really well on this one. So I'm going to pick up 1 B. I'm going to go back down through the A that I'm coming out of so that it makes a circle. And then I'm going to go up through the B that I just added. Now I'm going to reinforce that stitch again. So I'm going to go down through the A, and then up through the B. So far I have 2 A's and 1 B. Now I'm going to pick up a B. My thread's coming out of the top of this B, so I'm going to go right back up through it so that it makes a circle. And then I'm going to go down through that second B that I just added. Okay, so now I'm going to reinforce it. So I'm going to go up through the first B and then down through the second B. And this is, like I said, it's going to keep them in line. Do not reinforce them more than that, or you won't be able to connect the bangle when you get to the end. Now I'm going to pick up a C. I'm going to go back down through this B. And then up through the C. Oh yeah, I'm going to like these colors. And then I'm going to reinforce that one more time. So I'm going to go down through the B and up through the C. Now I'm going to pick up another C, and I'm going to go up through the first C and down through the second C. So this gives me 2 A's, 2 B's, and 2 C's. And I'm going to reinforce this by going up through the first C and then down through the second C. Now I'm going to fold the 2 ends together. So my C is touching or is right next to the first A. And I'm going to take my needle. My thread is coming out of the bottom of my C. And I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come up through that first A. Get to it. Then I'm going to go down through the C. So that connects them together. And then I'm going to go up through that first A one more time. So that now you have a little piece that looks like this. Your working thread is coming out of the top and your tail is coming out of the bottom. So I'm going to pick up 2 A's. And I'm coming out of the first A and I'm going to come down through the second A. Then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to go up through the B. I'm going to pick up 2 B's. And then I'm going to go down through the second B. And these are not going to sit straight. They're going to sit, I'm just going to call it wonky. They're going to kind of sit wonky next to each other. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to come up through the first C. I'm going to pick up 2 C's. And then I'm going to go down through the second C. At this point, I'm going to go up through the first 2 A's in this next column. So I'm going to go through the bottom one and the one right above it. So this finishes out the row, and then I'm stepping up through the first bead of the row I just completed. I'm coming out of an A. The cool thing is, whatever you're coming out of is the color you're going to pick up. So I'm coming out of an A. We want this to twist, so this is where our twist is going to start happening. I'm going to go down through 2 A's. And then I'm going to come up through 1 B. So I'm going through the top B. So right this second, you can see that thread. But when you start going through the pattern, you're not going to see that thread. So now I'm going to pick up 2 B's. I'm going to go down through the next 2 B's. And then up through the top C. And you want to pull it tight. Now pick up 2 C's, go down through 2 C's, you know, it helps if you go down through 2 C's and not 1 C. There we go. Okay. I'm back to the beginning of the row. I always know I'm back to the beginning when I get back to the A's. The pattern is down 2, up 1. So if I did down 2 and I go up 1, this middle A right here would be the bead I would actually go through. This is the last bead on the second row. The bead above it is the first bead on our third row, which is the row that we're completing now. So I'm going to finish out the row and step up, you're going through the top 2 A's. Okay, this will be the only thing that changes the whole time you're doing it, and it's because you are finishing the row and stepping up at the same time. It's really weird, but I promise you, the more you do this, the more you're going to get it. That's why I said pick totally different colors. So I'm coming out of an A. I'm going to pick up 2 A's. I'm going to go down 2 A's. So that's the top 2. And then I'm going to go up through the top C. So just 1 C. And pull tightly. I'm going to pick up, oh, that's a B, not a C. I think I said that right. I'm not sure, but this is a B. Okay, pick up 2 B's. Go down through the top 2 B's. And then we're going up through the very top C. And pull that tight. Now 2 C's. You go down through the top 2 C's. I'm back to my A's, so if I go through the top A, this bead right here is the top A of the previous row. Then I have to step up, so I'm going to step up by going through the first bead that I added on this round. So every time you get back to the A's, you're going up through the top 2 A's. So you're going up through one, and then you're stepping up to the next one. Pick up 2 A's. Go down through the next 2 A's. Then up through 1B, which is the top B. Remember, the pattern is always down 2, up 1. So I'm picking up 2 B's. I'm going down 2. So I'm going down 2 B's. And then up 1, which is the top C. Pick up 2 C's, go down 2, and then I'm back to the A's. So the up 1 is going to be this bead right here, but then I have to step up to the first bead of this new row. So I'm going through 2 beads there at one time and pull that tight. 2 A's. Go down 2, and then up 1, pick up 2 B's, you're going down 2, up 1, so I'm going up through this top C here, pulling it tight, picking up my 2 C's, I'm going down 2, and then up 1, so my up 1 is going to be this A right here, and then I've got to step up through the first A of this row, which is going to be the second one. So I'm going through 2. Every time I get to the A's, once I add the C's, I'm going up through 2 of the A's. So you can see that the spiral is just now beginning. So 2 A's, go down through 2, up through 1, now you're going to do 2 bees, down through 2, up 1, and now pick up 2 C's, and you're going to go down 2, and then you're going to fling it off your mat. Y'all like how I started talking to myself, don't you? I got lots of comments how y'all cracked up on the carpet bracelet a couple of weeks ago. And now I'm back here to my A's. Now remember, with the A's, I'm going through my up 1, which is this bead, but then I've got to step up through the first bead in the row, which is going to be the one right above it. You're going to continue pulling that tightly and working in the spiral until you have enough to go around your wrist. And you want it to be a little loose on your wrist, okay? So you can see here, I've got quite a bit going on with these, and you can see that the spiral is a pretty definite spiral. So you're really going to be able to see it as you go through and you get more rows on. So it's probably, I'm down to about, takes me about 2 hours to completely finish one of these bracelets. So be prepared for about 2 to 4 hours of work, depending on how quickly you work and the distractions that you have around you. As you can see, I've worked probably about 4 to 5 inches, and you can really see that spiral doing the motion of 2 down, 1 up. I've used almost my 3 yards of thread, and as you can see here, I have just a little bit left. So I'm going to show you how I tie this thread off. You have 2 options. You can either go ahead and completely tie it off like with your knots, or take note of where you're exiting. I'm exiting out of my first A in my stack. So I'm going to come down a few beads down this second stack, and then I'm going to come up through a bead right next to where I'm coming out at, and then down through some more beads on the other side. It's almost like the On the Rocks bracelet. If you think about kind of how I did some of the steps in that, it's almost like that. This is just kind of a way of locking in the thread without actually putting a knot in it. Now, if you did want to put a knot in it, all you would have to do is grab a thread between your beads and leave yourself the loop, and then go back through the loop again. That's definitely something that you can do. That's not a problem. But I just really like just doing this, you know, because if you make a little knot, you're going to see it just a little bit here. And this way, the way I'm showing you, is just a little way to lock the thread in so that it's not going to come apart. And you won't see any knots. So I'm completely getting rid of this little thread here. And I'll go ahead and trim this off, and I'm going to start a new thread. I'm going to thread it onto my needle and show you how I start the new thread. So I'm ready to start my new thread. And remember, when I started, I was coming out of my first stack of A's here. So I'm going to come back down in the A row, and I'm going to come down about 1.5 inches, and I'm going to go up through an A on that right side of the stack. And I'm going to pull the thread through and leave myself just about a 3 or 4 inch tail. And then I'm going to go down through the bead right next to where I'm coming out on the left. And then I'm going to go back up through that bead, same bead again on the right. And then I'm going to go up through about 3 beads. Okay, so we're pretty much starting out the thread the same way as we ended the thread. So I'm coming out right here. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come to the bead right next to it, to the left, and I'm going to go down through that bead. And then I'm going to come back up through the next bead. And then through 3 or 4 more beads on that right hand stack. I do this up and down motion with the thread about 3 times. And I'm going to do it one more time. I'm getting close up here to the top, so I'm going to do it one more time before I get all the way up to the top. And the great thing about doing it this way is that you don't see the thread. Come back up. And once you get to the top, now you're ready to start back just like you were working. Picking up your 2 beads, going down through your A, your 2 A's, and you would just continue working and adding thread just like that. And once I get a little bit of this done, and see, I'm pulling this thread right here and it's not moving here, so I know that it's locked into place. So I can actually take my needle and I can thread this thread through a little bit to get rid of it, or I can just go ahead and cut it. But I'm just going to continue until I have the length that I need. Once you have the length of your bracelet, you want to go ahead and thread a needle onto your tail thread and get rid of the tail thread. Now you get rid of the tail thread the same way as if you were finishing off, like you were running out of thread and needed to finish off that thread, just like I showed you a few minutes ago. So let's go ahead and do that, finish off this end, and then we'll continue to work on this end, because what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we're going to connect them so that the spiral will be a continuous spiral. Now comes the fun part, which is the connection. This is the end of the bracelet and this is the beginning of the bracelet. I've taken and laid the diagonals, or the stacks, so that they will be coming out right across from each other. I'm coming out of the A here on the end of the bracelet, and I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go up through the A on the beginning end of the bracelet. So I'm going to basically treat these 2 beads right here like they're ones that I'm going to pick up. So I'm going up through that bead, and then down through the one right next to it, and then through the next 2 A's on the end of the stack, and pull that tightly. I'm going to twist it a little bit. I'm going to go up through my top B, which is going to be this one right here, and I'm going to go up through the right B here on the beginning of the bracelet, and then I'm going to go down through the left B on the beginning, and then through the bottom 2 on the left here of those B's, down 2 and then up 1, which is going to be the top C. I'm going to go up through the right hand C, down through the left hand C, and then through the 2 C's here on the left at the end of the bracelet. And then I'm going to go up through 1, which is going to be the one diagonal, the A diagonal to where I'm coming out right here. This is the last A on the end of the bracelet, and this was the first A on the bracelet. So I'm just going to go up through that one, pull that nice and tight, and now you can't see where I started and where I finished on the connection. And you'll want to go through and reinforce that connection quite a few times, okay? So at least 3 times. And then go ahead and tie this thread off or get rid of this thread like I showed you earlier. So by now, I'm hoping that you should be having your piece connected and you should be done. There are a couple of things that I need to kind of, I guess, warn you about on this bracelet. Number 1, let's say you need a 7-inch bracelet. Don't stitch 7 inches measured out by a ruler and then finish off your end, because when you try and put this thing on, you're going to realize it's not 7 inches, okay? Because this is a little bit of a denser, thicker bangle, it's going to take more to actually make 7 inches for the inside diameter. So be sure that you measure this around your wrist as you work. The second thing, make sure that you do it a little bit loose. I did the very first one that I just love. I did this one really tight, actually. It is probably 6 3/4 to 7 inches, and when I went to get it on, it was way too tight for my size wrist. I wear about a 7 to a 7 1/4, and I could get it over. I definitely could get it over, but you could tell that it was a little bit stressed. So I definitely would be careful about that, because you don't want it so tight that you're going to break it. And the third thing is to just have fun with this project. There's all sorts of color combos that you can do. Once you do it with 3 colors and you understand how the colors are going to do, then you can definitely switch up and you can do 1 color or you can do 6 colors. It's completely up to you. But these are just really simple, fun bangles that you can use using the Nozue Sonoko thread. So here we are. This is a 7 inches in diameter, and so when I roll it over my hand, it rolls over perfectly so that I have a perfect bangle style bracelet. So I hope you guys have fun with this project. We will have the written pattern for sale on our website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, and we will have these 3 colors that I showed you. This is the bronze, cream, and sea foam. This is red, white, and blue because we've got Memorial Day and 4th of July coming up. And then this one is the lime green, the purple, and the turquoise color. We'll have all 3 of these kits for sale on our website. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.